just say morning, Adita. Okay, so today, can you believe I think we're at call number 8. So today we are working on vows and contracts and oaths, vows, contracts, commitments, promises, obligations, declarations, and things like that, which is absolutely fascinating when it comes to money and finances. But we've got one more call left, just so you know. And the last call is going to be on the 23rd of October, and it's all about subconscious programming. So we're on that last call. I just want to talk a little bit about that. On that last call, we are going to do some clearing around your subconscious program, but I want to do some re-imprinting of your subconscious program as well, so that we really leave you on a bit of a high. Obviously, it will be recorded and you can listen to the subconscious programming. And I feel like I'm going to be designing a re-imprinting meditation, to like a hypnosis meditation, to like be like the signature one for this season. Can I say it's a season? So we have today vows and contracts. So I'll open up the circle. I've already put the bubble around, but let's just get straight into it. So if you want to close your eyes, and what I'll do is I'll do Q&A at the end for everybody. Okay, so just breathing in, breathing out, breathing in and breathing out, and just becoming more aware of that beautiful divine light. So I'm going to just bring that in now. Okay, and I want some of you to feel like you're really stepping into the vortex. It feels like some of you are out of the vortex. So can you come back in and step into this bubble of light, this prosperity bubble of light? And I want you to breathe in that light. Drink it in, breathe it in. And then like breathe it in through your skin as well. Breathe it in through all the chakra points. I'm actually going to do a bit of an energy clearing on you all. Okay, so as you're breathing in this divine light, we're going to call in your guides of 100% love and light, and only of 100% love and light. And if there's anything in the space that's not of 100% love and light, we're just going to cleanse and clear and ask for Creator, the divine source, God, whatever you believe in, to call it back to the light by its name. So I feel like some of you, or a couple of you, have got something sitting right on your chest and it's blocking that heart chakra. So let's just clear that in all directions of time under the law of grace, mercy and compassion. Okay, so we're going to have a bit of a shift. Okay, we're just going to imagine that earth energy now is coming up through the soles of your feet. I want you to imagine that it's like green light. So see, sense, feel, know. This green light is just going to come in and start to cleanse and clear that root chakra. Just clearing any hooks, cords, attachments, any negativity, any psychic attack, any collective projections that you're currently plugged into. Let's just release that. And then just bring that beautiful earth energy all the way up and into the sacral. So the first thing I'm picking up is that some of you are like burning the candle at both ends. So let's just unplug you from this overachiever, overgiver, trying to prove that you can manage and do it all. Okay, and I just want you to breathe light into this area. Okay, and that's really connected in with your like adrenal glands. And with your permission, can we just bring in Divine Creator light and just balance out your cortisol levels, if that's possible. If you allow that, just nod. Say yes. Okay. Okay, and I want you to imagine, if you can imagine this, see, sense, feel, know, listen with your whole being, that you're going to see like two gas tanks. One's red and then it goes green. And we're just going to balance that red and green cortisol levels back in the highest and best for you at this time. And I want you to imagine that you're able to switch like anxiety breathing back into slow, deep breaths. And it's got this like frequency, this breath has got this frequency of like, I can do this, I've got myself, I'm supported, the universe has my back, Creator has my back, my guides are with me. So it's really, really, as you're sort of saying those affirmations to yourself and you're breathing that frequency in, you're going to really start to switch yourself off into calm mode. Because I feel like some of you, it's energy is starting to build up in you because you're busy at the moment and you're going into like fight, flight, freeze, faint. It's like all or nothing. So let's just bring you back into balance and harmony. And let's just teach you that you've got all the time that you need. And to really start to think smarter, not work harder. Okay, just let that frequency start to shift and change. It's still working in the sacral. Okay, and some of you are really diminishing your sacral chakra. So can we just allow that to expand now at the perfect size for you? So it's sitting nicely above that root chakra. Yeah, if you need to move your body, move your body. Okay, and then we're going to bring earth energy all the way up and it's going to hit your solar plexus. So the first thing I'm picking up on is if anyone is giving their power away for reasons of being loved, being validated, being seen as worthy. Let's just clear that with your permission in all directions of time. And then just let's replace it with Creator's definition and understanding of that you are worthy, that you are loved, and you don't need to prove or be or do anything to have love. Okay, that's starting to shift and change. I can feel all those old fragments just going now. Okay, just breathe into it. I feel like some of you need to shake it off. Shake that off. Shake that old programming off. Just imagine, if you want to imagine that you're just pulling all this old debris from your solar plexus. So if you want to imagine that you're just throwing it out from that area, then just do that. Okay, I'll have a big yawn and a stretch. I'm just going to move energy. Okay, and then can we just release from you that you're having to take on the world? Let's just release that. Okay, let's just pull that from the back of your solar plexus. So mid lower back. Let's just clear that. Okay, so we've got Archangel Michael coming in just to pull those old cords and release you. And in this solar plexus, you've also got these cords linked to people in your life or your past that is still there holding on to you. Let's just cut cords and then just plug them into the light and then just call back your life force energy. Okay, I want you to feel this beautiful pale blue light coming in. That's your life force energy. Okay, you're going to feel so much better. I need to give you a bit of va-va-voom. Okay, that's good. Keep drinking it in. It's like I can see a tap, like a faucet. Is that the word? Faucet? And just keep opening the tap and just letting that power of that good pressure of the water coming in. That's your life force energy coming in. Filling up all your cells, your atoms, your molecules. There we go. Much better. And it is actually having a big energy effect on your throat chakra, just so you know, as well. Okay, and then we're going to call in, I feel like we need to call in Archangel Raphael and his mighty dragon. So let's just call him in and allow him to do an unconditional love healing on your heart chakra. There we go. And can we just release guilt around the sort of like having to earn money? There's still a bit of guilt and shame in there. So let's just release guilt and shame. Anywhere, anywhere where you're carrying this guilt and shame, because it's like having to ask someone, but because the money comes from divine source, God, creator, the universe. But it's like this, I keep seeing like a little pouch of gold coins, like this little old-fashioned leather pouch. And some of it goes back to childhood or any sort of childhood. So it's a bit of inner child stuff where you've had to ask for handouts, you've had to ask for your pocket money. It's this asking and it's this pleading. And I will be good. Can I have it? It's can I, can I, can I? So can we just release that? And can we just release any chains and shackles around your wrists? Okay, we're just going to bring in a beautiful golden light, a ray of golden sunlight. And with your permission, let's just release you and unbind you from that. Okay, that's a big shift within that heart. You're going to find that you're going to start to think of things in a completely different way in regards to asking and receiving. Okay, so that's just going to just gently cleanse and clear some of your mindset stuff, because I can feel that working all through your neural pathways. So we're just clearing that. So just breathe, relax, just allow if you want it. Okay, and then we're just going to bring beautiful earth energy in. Let's work through that and your throat chakra. Now we're just going to work on through your third eye. So just cleansing and clearing any debris. And can we just clear, with your permission, any false illusions? False illusions around any sort of teachings, programs. Like some of you need a bit of a, I'm going to say like a business sweep. So can we just release any false illusions around um, how many times that you should do a sales post, how many times that you should contact a client, how many emails you should send. I know that's more business related, and I'll look at it in from a different angle as well, but that's what's coming up with some of you. It's like a bit of a two half. So let's just clear false illusions around how you should be creating money through your businesses. Okay, that's going to go. Releasing, releasing. Okay. Then I'm going to work just slightly on the back of your head, so your causal chakra. So can we just bring in divine light and just clear the pathway on your causal chakra, which is your divine feminine channeling connection to the records, to your higher self, to your soul self, etc., to the universe. Okay, and anywhere in your life where you've shut, in this lifetime or any other lifetime, on a soul level, where you've shut down this energy point, this energy center, out of fear of your intuitive powers, your knowing, and where you've disempowered yourself and you're looking to others for the answer. So can we just clear that for you? So what I'm witnessing is like, it's like more cables are coming out from that chakra point and being plugged in into different avenues of intuition, knowing, sensing, feeling. It's like an old-fashioned telephone. You know, when you used to ring up the operator and they used to plug in all the different wires into all the different plug-in boards. So you're being plugged in. There we go. And can we just send a pulse of light just to give it a bit of a kickstart? So let's just send that energy of light just to get it reworking, give it a bit of a jump start. And this is done in the highest and best, in the most loving, gentle and easiest way at this time, under the law of grace, mercy and compassion. There we go. All right, let's just now open up and cleanse and clear your crown chakra, your soul star chakra, leading up to the records and source. Let's just clear that pathway. Okay, so now we just can see like this beautiful ladder coming in so that you're able to climb up, connect with ease and grace. Good. So we call upon the mighty archangels and ascended masters to support us today in our journey into the records to unleash our prosperity. Working with Archangel Michael and his realm for protection and strength. Working with Archangel Raphael and his green dragon for abundance of health and wealth. We also call upon Archangel Orion for cosmic strength, ascension and growth. Archangel Uriel for balancing the divine feminine and masculine energies, guiding us towards our higher selves and connecting us with truth, passion, and purpose. Archangel Ariel, for supporting us through the death of old habits and patterns, identities, and also to comfort us during transitions and connecting us to our life passion and purpose. We also call upon Archangel Metatron, the scribe, for assisting us with ascension and working with us through the Akashic records. We call upon Master Merlin to create magic and alchemy. And we also work today with the violet flame, so calling in the violet flame or the violet flame dragon or Saint Germain, whoever you prefer to connect with, that will help us to continue for purification and transformation on anything that is no longer serving us for the highest and best. We also call upon our beautiful dragons, our 4 elemental dragons, so the elements of earth, water, fire, and air. So we call upon these mighty beings of light and love to support us today and every time that we work through this program. And we thank you. It's done, it's done, it's done. So it is. So when you're ready, when you feel you want to open your eyes, open your eyes. Well, I wasn't expecting to do a big energy clearing on you, but some of you needed to have a bit of a shimmy shift before we could get to these vows and contracts. So I know some of you know a lot around vows and contracts, but I think most of you do know about vows and contracts, especially because a lot of you work with me sort of privately as well. Okay, so interestingly enough, vows and contracts, that was probably one of the easiest things that I saw and witnessed when I first started getting into all this work. And like, you know, that I'm psychically aware of, you know, I see, I sense, I feel, I know. But what I get shown is I've got a white filing cabinet downstairs in the garage with all our documents in. That was the first thing I saw, right? When I was working through all of this and clearing it for myself, but also in my swap buddies, I just kept seeing this white filing cabinet. I thought, what the hell's that? And it's like, oh, it's like all papers. What's papers? Oh, it's all the vows and the contracts. So in Theta Healing, we talk about oaths, vows, contracts, commitments, promises, and obligations. In Akashic training, we talk about vows and declarations. So we know that words create power, and there's always words behind, there's always energy and vibration around different words and different emotions, but there's also words around contracts. So if we look at, when I talk about oaths and vows, I'm going to just talk about it as a whole big general swoop, right? Otherwise, I'll be here forever talking about this one, this one, this one, this one. But if you think these contracts are stored within the records, but they've come from soul level, so they've come from your past lives where you have vowed or taken on. I mean, if you look back at old films and history, you know, like I know in my heritage in Scotland, right, they made blood oaths. And I don't know if any of you have watched Outlander, but when Jamie and Claire got married, right, they cut their hands and they put their hands together, bound it, had a binding, right? And they made a blood oath. So I've seen blood oaths come out. So on a past life, you will have taken on all of this. Say, for instance, you went into a, oh yes, Jamie. Yeah, Jamie Fraser is a bit of a hottie. If you've not watched it, you need to watch Outlander. Um, uh, if you, I've lost my train of thought now. You've got me in a hot flush, Jamie Fraser. What was I saying? I was saying about so they've come through on a past life. They will also come through on your DNA. It will come through on your family and your ancestral line as well. So that's there. It will also, interestingly enough, it will come through in the collective consciousness, especially when it's related to money and finances. So obviously we're talking about money and finances here. For instance, right, when when you come to a different country, you are paying different taxes, right? To pay your taxes is like having a contract to the government to pay your taxes, right? Yeah. It's like years gone by, if you look at the ancestral line or the um or past lives, right? If you, for instance, were maybe a farmer and you had the lord, the laird of the land, you would have had to have paid taxes to the lord, right? So if you look at that, I don't know why I'm channeling this for a reason, but it'll be interesting to see what comes out. But say, for instance, you had to pay land tax to your lord. That lord would have been some sort of form of power. You are putting a masculine figure on top of you that that you have to pay that binding law of paying X, Y, and Z to that person, right? So, when you look back at like Unleashing Prosperity call like program one, we actually did, I think it was call one, definitely call one or two, where we looked at what do you see money as, right? And 9 times out of 10, we see money as a masculine power figure. So some people, right, and I've seen this through different money programs and through private working with clients as well, is that some people have a real issue around paying a certain amount of tax to the government, right? So they will keep their business or their salary at a lower level because they don't want to pay more to the government, right? Because there's this belief, and it could come from you, it could come from your parents, it could come from the genetic line around that. I'll give you an example. So I was talking to a woman probably last year, and I sort of asked her these couple of questions, and she said, "Well, I don't want to pay the government that much." And I went, "Why?" I said, "Because that's actually blocking you and stopping you from creating more overflow." And she was like, "Well, it just goes to this person and this person and this person." And I said, "Well, what if it actually went to like schools where, this was happening, or people to help them with cancer?" And I completely reframed it to her. And she was like, "Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense." So I said, "Just believe that your tax money, we have to pay it, that your tax money is going for the greater good, not going to bad." And I said, that's all. That could be genetic programming, or it could be a past life block. So it's quite interesting from a we're talking about the ancestral and the soul level, but also the collective consciousness. So for instance, when I left the UK, tax at that point was 17.5%, right? Whereas out here we pay GST, it's 10%. So, you're plugging into different collective consciousnesses, right? The collective consciousness when I was living in Victoria to where I am in Queensland, there's a big difference, right? So like buying and selling homes, we're having to pay the government that money, right? We've got to take a vow. Well, it's not a vow, but it's like an obligation to pay the government for selling our house. What we pay in the kickback in Victoria is different from a stamp duty point of view up in Victoria as well. So depending on different states, you'll be plugging yourself into different collective consciousnesses around like different obligations. So that's more on the obligations. Does that make sense? And it is really interesting. So I'm in the process of doing my tax at the moment, right? And it's actually brought up of some interesting stuff for me. I'll share that with you because it's like normally I've always done, I know I do my BAS every quarter, and I tend to do my it with my old bookkeeper. I was doing my tax every quarter, But this time it's been a year, and I've been really nervous of, I mean, I always put my money away, so that's all good. There's definitely enough in the pot. But I've been sitting there going, oh, like really nervous of what is it going to be? What is it going to be? What's the tax bill going to be? And I'm like, oh, okay, I've got some clearing around this to do that's brought up like a bit of nervousness as well for me. So yeah, we can have different things from the collective consciousness as around just and also we can plug into collective consciousness around other people as well, what they believe in. So it's really important that you listen to positive mindset, you know, like podcasts, um, your inner circle that is positive around different financial obligations as well, and not being tapped into other people's beliefs. I don't know if you've ever had like financial advice from different financial advisors and what one person's like beliefs around one thing and another person's beliefs around something can be. Megan's nodding. Do you want to share anything on that? I feel like you want to share something.
No, I know it's just interesting, and it just comes down to other people's perspectives, right? And then it's also about whether they buy into the group consciousness of, at the moment, no one's got any money and financially people are struggling. And as soon as I hear that in my head, I'm like, cancel that, cancel that, cancel that, because I just don't want to buy into it.
Yeah,
I just don't even want to talk about it or
yeah.
acknowledge it. I'm just canceling it all the time.
Yeah. And that was a massive thing in when COVID first hit, right? The we're all in Australia here. And some of you are Victoria as well. When COVID first hit, it was like fear, wasn't it? But actually, what we noticed, it was like, oh, actually, there is people with more money because of this, and this, and this, and this. And they would be like, oh, house prices are going to drop and all of this type of thing. Well, we were seeing a completely different story. House prices was going up. It was the best time we flipped two houses ever. So collective consciousness is very, very powerful as well. And it's all like I don't listen to the news or anything like that, but I know I can feel the rumble in the jungle because we've got America going off as well, haven't we? So we actually on holiday met a guy, funny who you meet, isn't it? In the swimming pool. But this guy was talking to Andrew and he was saying, oh, that 10 years ago he sold his business on Wall Street. It's like, oh, all he's been doing is traveling around the world. But he was talking about America and this, that, and the other. I'm not going to bring it up because we don't bring it into the circle. But it's just like, oh my God, isn't that fascinating? One person's point of view, another person's point of view, another person's point of view. So always be really mindful around money stories in the collective consciousness. All right. And as Megan said, yeah, cancel, edit, delete, cancel it. I'm not plugging into that. I'm not plugging into that. So, interestingly enough, I know some of you do have your pendulum. So I would always invite you. This is probably I find the oaths and the vows the easiest thing to ever clear, right? Because it's literally the power of the word to ask for this to be cleared. So there's a couple of things. When you go into your Akashic records, right, you want to set the intention, I bang on about this all the time, that you want to identify and clear any negative contracts and vows because we do have positive ones as well. Okay. So if you're in a happy marriage, that's a positive vow and oath and contract and stuff like that. Absolutely. And it is interesting. I don't know. It definitely sort of started to change with probably our age bracket. But I know some of you are married. But did you take a vow? In the marriage vow, it is that I must obey. So who said that they'd obey their husband? Didn't do that one. But do you know, it is interesting when you go back, and I remember remember when I held Rory and Millie for the first time, I was just like, I promise I will always love you and look after you. So there's some really, really healthy oaths and vows and blah blah blah, and there's some negative ones as well. So what we're going to do today, anything that is ready to release in any form of oath and vow declaration, we're going to clear it. What you might find is that there might be some stuff there that isn't related to money and finances, because I think it's lovely to do a beautiful general sweep of any terms and conditions, right? Because of karma. Because of karma. Oh, Julie's driving. Because of karma. So I would suggest, and this was one of the things that one of my teachers taught me, is that you know how you do sometimes like a spring clean in your home, right? Do a spring clean in your records, right? So roughly about every quarter, you want to pull up, right, any vows and declarations, right, that is ready to release. Okay. And what's quite interesting is you can bring them up, and then you can renegotiate contracts as well within your record room as well. So say for instance, you know how sometimes we can have a sacred contract with someone to teach them X, Y, and Z, right? So say for instance, I've got a sacred contract with you guys to help you clear your money blocks and create prosperity in your life. So that's a healthy sacred contract. But say for instance that you were working with someone, whether it's a client, whether it's someone in a relationship in your life, right? Maybe it's a work colleague, but say for instance that you get to a point and you're like, okay, I know I've got like a sacred contract with you that I've promised to like help you with this, and this. But do you know what? You are really frigging hard work, and I'm out. I'm sorry, mate, but I'm out, right? Because, right, energetically, what happens is before you come into this lifetime, this soul says, I'm going to help you with that, right? And you meet and you help that person, right? But this person isn't coming to the table like you're coming, right? So there's a bit of like misalignment in that respect, right? You've got free will to pull yourself out of that and someone else can come in and work with that person. Does that make sense? Right? So you can bring contracts up for renewal as well. What you must do is that if you're going to remove yourself from that contract, you need to bring someone in that is a very nice person, okay, of 100%, not necessarily 100% love and light, but for the highest and best of this person, okay, because that's just ending the contract in a really, really lovely way. So that can happen. So if that was in regards to like money and finances, this works really well when it comes to certain clients as well. I know some of you, you've all got businesses, right? But it could be it could be a work colleague or a boss or a manager or something like that, and you're just like, for God's sake, this is not working, and I know that I'm teaching this person something or whatever, and they're teaching me, but we're just not working anymore. We're not in alignment. So by removing yourself, right? Because a lot of people, what I've noticed, and I've seen myself do this in the past, is that you can take on clients or you can take a job or a role because of finances, for finance reasons. And what's the universe teaching you? That's not how it should be, right? You should be working with people that respect you and honor you like you honor and respect that person. If that's not happening, but you see a lot of people take that client on or take that role or take that job for the sake of finances. So that's that. Does that make sense?
Claire,
Mm.
can I, I've just got a question about that. So if we are in our records, we're seeing that contract, so someone that, you know what, they're not, I don't want to work with them anymore, so we're clearing that contract. And then you said make sure that you're replacing it with someone who's nice. What if you can't at that moment think of a specific person?
No,
Is
you
it
just let the universe bring it. You don't need to think of another. You don't.
okay?
It's not up to
Right,
you to think, okay, I'm out and I'm going to bring Sally in.
right.
No,
Okay, that's what I thought you
you just
meant.
let the
Okay.
universe bring that person in
Okay.
because that person there has says, okay, I want to learn about forgiveness, right? And you'll be like, oh yeah, okay, I did sort of bring to the table that I'd help that person forgiveness. You pull yourself out, the next person that said, yeah, I'll be the next one will bring in and they'll do it. No, it's up to creator
Okay,
to
good.
decide who comes in.
Just
Yeah.
when you said make sure that you say it's someone nice, I'm thinking, oh, so you've got to sit there and think, well, I might put Claire on that person, and I'm going to put
Don't
Karen
do
on
that.
that person, and
Don't do that. No, you just want the highest and best that's going to teach that person that contract, and you can revoke that contract 100%. I'm going to have a cough. 100%. Yeah. So contracts are an interesting one. So set the intention and then always do like a 3-month sweep and just clear everything that's not in the highest and best for you, that's ready to release, but obviously releasing negative contracts, but keeping the the positive as well. How do you know that you cleared a contract? Okay, so you can do it through visualization, and we're going to do it today, but you can also use a pendulum as well, so anti-clockwise, and then so you can create new contracts 100%. You can create a new contract if you want new contracts. You can set new contracts into your Akashic records, right? So you can actually do that around business stuff as well, which is quite cool. And I've done that. Yeah. But yeah, just clearing the
And
oldest
when
stuff.
I'm in my Akashic records, I'm there and I'm asking for any contracts to be cleared. Then I use my pendulum, clearing it, and then just the other
Reset
way,
it.
just to reset it, to put,
Reset it. Yeah,
yeah,
good
okay,
energy back in.
yep,
Yeah.
okay,
You want to fill a void.
yeah,
So you're just, I mean, to be honest, if the void, I would just put unconditional love
yeah.
created by something like that, you know, unless the only time that I put contracts really in is through a business stuff.
Mm.
That's it. I don't really, because say for instance, you're making contracts and declarations and all of that type of thing all the time. So even like if you sign a new contract, that's a declaration, that's an agreement going into your records. Like I'll give an example with Shani, when she signs a new house to come onto the market, she's signing that client up, right? So she's got a contract with that client that's gone into her records and stuff like that. And sometimes what I find quite interesting with clearing contracts, it actually makes space for more new stuff to come in as well. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with you, Shani, as well after this. Um, and say for instance, if you were like I've seen contracts, I know it's not quite monetary, but it does affect monetary. So when I work with women that are divorced, right, I can still feel that there's energetic contracts to that previous partner, right? Even, even like I know they've been married, but even if you've like bought a house with someone, even if you've bought a car with someone, that's still a contract to that person, right? And I've 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 even said to some clients, I still feel that you're energetically still married to that person. And they're like, no, no, no. And I'm like, yeah, I can still feel it, right? And sometimes it's not the woman attached to the man, it's the man still attached to the woman, right? There's still like a bit of an energy contract as well. That's why it's really important. Not picking on anyone in this group, but it's important. She's gonna laugh in a minute, that you need to change your name by default, not just change it on Facebook. She's laughing. Because it's still in the records, right? And you will block money coming in if you're still energetically tied to that previous partner, because somewhere along the line, especially you could have had past lives with them, whatever, you will have this. You can muscle test, right? I have a fear that my ex, I'm still energetically married to them one way or the other, or both ways, that they're going to get my money if I make loads of money, right? You can muscle test, you can pendulum test all of this, right? And you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised that this has a financial effect on you. Especially if you still got that I must obey energy, because if you think years gone back, we would have married, right, men, and we would have said that we obey them. Yeah, there's always stuff around. So I would suggest that if you're in flow with clients coming in, all right, signing clients, and it tails off, go in and do a sweep of your business records, or your records, your contracts, and then see if more clients start to come in. All right, because sometimes you just need to get rid of them out of that filing cabinet. What I do, because I actually have records here with, especially with the Akashics, because I like to keep note of what we covered in other sessions. But I have a different file where I'm like, oh, they're older clients, but I still need to keep the records, and these are current ones. Because if I fill my folder up too much, it's like I'm still like corded to them. They're still in there. I'm like, no, let's move them out. Let's move them out. So I have like a file of like VIP clients, current clients that are always coming. Then I have ones that just hit and miss. They come in every now and again. And then I have a file of like old clients, and I rotate them in and out. So it keeps making space as well. All right, so I think we've got that. I've talked about negative and positive.
Can I just ask a question?
Yeah, yeah, please do.
So I did keep my ex-husband's last name.
Mm.
I feel in every way we're sort of detached and good friends because it was already out there and it was an easy one with real estate. Do I need to go and, or can I just sort of?
So is your surname your married name?
Yes,
Yeah.
my real surname is Lovegrove. So Shani Shaw just seemed to have a bit of, you know, everybody said,
I think Shani Shaw is, I don't get that you're energetically, I still don't feel that you're tied to him. And I think that's a really great name for your business,
that's the
because
only, that's why I sort of kept
it's
it
got that sort
besides
of ring
all,
to it.
yeah, besides all the difficulty, everybody said, oh, that's an easy one to remember. And
Mm,
that's the reason. And my son has the name, but
yeah.
you know, my ex-husband, we're just like friends. You know, it's
Yeah, it's a different
good,
type of
good. That's good. Yeah,
relationship. But I've never felt that with you, working with
yeah,
you, that there's still ties.
yeah,
Some people I do, some people I don't.
yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. It tends to work more when the marriage has ended in not the nicest way as well. That it's
Yeah,
better to really cut cords. Yeah. Sometimes I pick it up, sometimes I don't. Yeah. So, but no, I think you're it's quite positive. And you probably might have thought, oh yeah, that name is quite good. I need to use that for for
yeah,
my for my business. So
yeah.
do you ever you're just Shiny Shaw all the time, aren't you? You don't ever
Mm.
say the other name.
Yeah, no, no,
No.
no. I think on one of my emails I might have used it. But yeah. and I guess I'm still connected to the family the way I was, just as a family, not in a we have to be, but just as in, oh, that's part of,
Yeah. Yeah.
part of people that are in
I
my
think
circle.
I think I think where it probably gets more confusing from an energetic point of view is if you're, because you call yourself all that all the time, right? The only time I know of your other surname is when we're going through the records, right?
Yeah,
But I think it's when it's like half and half. You're either one or the other,
yeah, yeah,
if that makes sense.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, whenever I work with someone, I always do, and I know that they're separated or divorced or whatever, I do that
Yeah.
check it. Like, is there anything? Is there anything? Is there anything there that's blocking
Oh, good.
on that?
Thank you.
Um, One thing that I will say is that always honor your positive agreements as well. So like, you know, positive agreements and vows and oaths and stuff like that, they really do support your journey. Um, is there anybody else that's got any questions that's more related to them personally around this?
When we're talking about going into the Akashic records, so
Yeah.
when we want to do a sweep on contracts and vows from a personal and then a business point of view, so all we do is just ask our guide in there to bring the personal stuff through and then the business stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So you just set the intention that, so what I would do is you'll experience it today, but I would be like, right, okay, I'm going into the open everything up, I'm going into the records. I want to bring forth. So I would, because if you haven't done much of it, there's going to be shed loads there, right? And you don't want to you don't want to energetically put yourself into a bit of a shock. All these people are dropping off, friends. What you want to do is that you say, for instance, because we'll talk about it from a money and finances, right? I'm not getting any clients coming in, okay, or there's no money flow coming in. What's going on? Or I've hit a certain threshold in my business or my income or my wages, right? I've been and I'll use this as well. I've been to my boss and I want another 20 grand a year, whatever, right? And you're like, I know I use my intuition. I know my boss is not going to be giving me that. I know my boss isn't going to be giving that. And you're like, okay, right, what do I need to do? So I would be like, okay, Akashic Records, my guides, I've opened everything up. I'm going to go in and I want to see if there's any oaths, vows, contracts, blah, 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 in there that is blocking me from asking or getting or receiving another 20 grand a year, that or better, in the highest and best, right? So I'd go in and then I would ask my Akashic guides, I'd be like, Akashic guides, can you, or Metatron, right? Metatron's the easy one. Metatron, can you bring forth any oaths, vows, blah, 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 contracts in front of me that is preventing me from X, Y, and Z in the highest and best, right? And any other contracts that is karmically linked to this, right? So you're doing like cause and effect. So you're doing a really nice thing
Yeah.
in relation to that. Now it might be that your intuition shows you, like goes, there you go, like that. And it might be that you had previously signed a contract at a job for that amount of money and it's still sitting there, right? So that's going to be dissolved. If you want to get more into the nitty gritty of like, I want that, I'm going to clear the karmic vows if anything else is there for others. But you could be like, this is how I would do it. I'd be like, well, I want another, ideally would love another 20,000 a year because yes, I'm going to pay more tax, but that money is going to be spread around. It's going to give it's going to give, so if I do it from my point of view, it's going to give my children the opportunity to have X, Y, and Z. It might, you know, it would blah, 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 give Rory his new set of golf clubs and blah, 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 blah. You know, so it's not about me, me, me. It's about I desire that, but it's going to have that it's going to have that cause and effect from it afterwards. So you're putting that intention out to the universe that you are also going to do good with that extra income and that money in abundance. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But we're going to
So
do
it's
that
just that
today,
beautiful
right?
energy.
Are
Sorry?
we going to do that today?
We're going to do a clearing of what is blocking you at this moment in time. Yes.
But then
Yeah.
we can use this one that's going to be recorded then to do
To do your
maybe on a
general
quarterly,
sweep.
quarterly
Yep,
basis.
general
Okay,
sweep and
cool.
stuff like that. So
Cool.
what I would do, if we're relating it to money and abundance, I would be sitting there, like doing my general sweep. I'd be like, right, okay. Or if something is like, why is there not money coming in? Or, you know, I'll look and I'll be like, okay, we have shares. I'll be like, the share price is not really doing much. There's not really much coming in there. There's not much coming in through the stripe. What is it that's going on that needs to be released? Because you'll have an energetic maximum and minimum for your how much you can earn, and it'd be like, okay, so I would get the pendulum and I'd be like, okay, pendulum, tuning in. What is it that is currently blocking my money flow, my abundance flow? Okay, is it any psychic attack? Is it any curses? Is it any subconscious programs? Is it any, I'm trying to remember all the different ones. Is it all the different ones we've done over the number of weeks? Okay. Is it any vows and declarations? Right. Go in, clear the vows and declarations. And you don't have to sit there reading all the different vows and declarations that they give you. Just want to. So what you would use to clear the contracts is that you would imagine, right? Sometimes it's a candle, sometimes there's the fireplace in your record room. Sometimes you can bring in a dragon, a fire dragon, Saint Germain, really what you feel that you want to cleanse it, right? You might ask an angel to come in and just release it. Whatever you're really into, whatever you see, you just want to clear it. Any vows and declarations? Any other questions? Are you all right, Nicole? You're sitting there like pondering. You good? So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. I want you to think what is not flowing in your life at this moment in time when it comes to money and finances. Because I want you to set an intention. So it might be, I'll give you an example. It might be, you know, people into your program. It might be, it might be, I don't know, lots of different things. You can pop it in the chat if you want to. What is it that is not flowing at the moment? You know, some of you, I keep hearing procrastination. Some of you are like procrastinating over something. Who's procrastinating? You're not, Adita. You are moving forward. Come on. You've had 3 days of me. This is day 3.
I know, right? Patrick. No, I am moving. I was
You are.
a lot. Oh.
It's funny, like I was procrastinating, stuck and whatever. but this eclipse is really like, I can feel the energy starting to build now, and I'm like, woo, okay, let's get going. I've had my winter downtime. Right, what's not flowing? Okay, signing new homes and procrastination. Yeah. Because you can also like with clients or new homes, you can actually muscle test what your energetic minimum and maximum is for holding space for that person. Mm. You're on mute, Shani. But that makes sense, doesn't it? Because let's face it, right? If your energetic minimum maximum is to have X amount of homes, what you'll find is that some homeowners are a bit more demanding than others, right?
And I have had the demanding.
Yes.
Yeah, I need to clear that. But I
But
also have.
But if you look at it of okay, what's it teaching you? It's teaching you boundaries.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know one I need to clear today. I also know that there's a little bit of getting everything perfect set up here so that I can hit the ground
Yeah,
running.
so your default mechanism, your safety mechanism is like, oh, I just need to make sure that that's all right and that's perfect before I do that. It's like,
Yeah.
you
And I
know,
can see that with myself, and then I get overwhelmed, and then I go into procrastination, and I know that there's a part of me, but it's just like block, block, block. Yeah.
you've got to teach yourself to say it.
Yeah.
And that amount of time is work, and then that amount of time is home time, organizational, this, and this. Because if you get up in the morning and you're like, tidy, 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 what you imagine will take you 5 minutes to tidy up in a home. And I know because I'm exactly the same as you in the respect. What you think is going to take you 5 minutes to tidy up ends up taking you half a day.
Yeah.
Because with the ADHD, you're like, well, I'll just tidy I'll put the dishes in the dishwasher and I'll just tidy up. And then you're like, oh, well, that needs cleaning. So I'll just get the Jif out, and then I'll clean all the cupboards down. Because that's what you do. It's just like one job leads on to another job. So for me, what I have to do is I have to get up. I just have to ignore the kitchen, right? And then because that comes at 5 o'clock when sometimes when I've clocked off, or I go down for lunch and I do it at the same time as I'm doing lunch. So I like segment my time. But that's the thing. Your default mechanism is to look at something else rather than concentrate on what you should be concentrating on.
Yeah. And I know I've got one coming in, and it's just like, okay, so what do I have to do? You know, do I have to go and
have to clear out the old?
Yeah. Okay, before tomorrow, and just to make sure that I can be the right person, or I can. They're sitting in front of me to take, and it's just like, how do I make sure I don't block this? Basically.
Yeah. I've actually had to teach myself to live in mess.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to see what's around on my floor at the moment.
I've got the house to a pretty good place now, and
I think it's pretty tidy.
that's going to allow me to not be muddled when I've got too much work stuff.
Or you call in a professional house organizer and you go out to work, and you let them deal with it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, so has everyone got a something that they want to work on? Does anybody else want to share? What is it that's not working, that's blocking? We know it's going to be related to a contract. I need to get my thingy-majig. Nobody want to share? But everybody's got something, yeah? Right, cool. Alrighty. I'm going to write down my intent. So I might as well do mine at the same time. Okay. And all right, if you're ready, close your eyes. I'm going to go into got your intention, into your records. Just breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Connecting in with those guides again in that bubble of light. And you're just going to state your full name out loud, name that you have now, and any previous name that you were born with, your place of birth, and your date of birth. And you're going to ask if you can be connected to your Akashic records. I now wish to access my records in the highest and best. Okay, and just imagine that that earth energy is coming all the way up through the soles of your feet to the top of your head. And we're going to pull in a beautiful silver divine white light thread. And it's just going to connect in through your soul star chakra, all the way down through your head, all the way down to the soles of your feet. So you're connected above and you're connected below. We're just going to activate that third eye or your causal chakra, whichever way you want to go in, wherever you feel drawn to. We're just going to make that portal of light bigger and bigger, bigger and bigger, bigger and bigger. Okay, and all this divine light is just flooding in now, just expanding those chakra points. And you're going to step into that portal of light. And it's like you're stepping onto like a silver tray, a floating silver tray. And it's going to take you up and out. Okay, out through the universe, the multiverse. At the speed of light, through all the bright lights and the dark lights. Through that golden light. Working through the laws of the universe, so working with the law of grace, mercy, and compassion. And we're also going to work with the law of truth. So don't pull any of these laws into you, just sense that you're working with those laws of the universe. And then you're going to feel that you're arriving at this doorway and see your full name, place of birth, date of birth, etc. And as you step off that silver tray into your record room, just see, sense, feel, know, listen with your whole being as your Akashic guide comes to meet you, takes you in, and he's going to take you on a bit of a tour around your record room. And you're going to see different filing cabinets, different bookshelves, treasure chests. So just go and have a general sweep around your room. Let's just do a nice clearing, nice dust and polish. Sending beautiful love and compassion to all the corners of your record room. Then you're going to ask your guide with the intention that you set, with what you need. And that you want any outdated, negative oaths, vows, contracts, commitments, promises and obligations, declarations that you've taken on a soul level, on a core, on a collective, on a history level that is blocking you spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. And everything is done under the law of grace, mercy, and compassion in the highest and best of all concerned. You also want to bring up in front of you any outdated negative contracts, etc., that is preventing any other soul Okay, and you're going to be taken over to a massive table now, beautiful old oak table. And I just want you to see, sense, feel, know that everything is being placed on that table. So any outdated contracts that you've are holding others accountable for, that you want to release under the law of karma. Okay, so you're going to see that all on one side of the table, or sense it. And then anything that is blocking you in this lifetime on the other with your intention. And you're going to see in the middle of the table the scales of justice. Okay, that can feel a bit emotional actually for some of you. So just allow, if you're feeling any sort of sadness, any grief, to just be sitting there. So the first thing we're going to do is going to call in the angel of forgiveness, the angel of mercy. And that angel of mercy is going to come in front of you. It's going to hold your hands. And it's going to encourage you to forgive yourself on a soul level. So just breathe through that. Okay, we're not bypassing any of this. We're just going to bring in forgiveness. Especially as you look down that other end of the table and all those karmic contracts that you're still upholding on a soul level and you're holding other souls accountable for. Anywhere where you're having to pay in this lifetime karmic debt back. You might witness, and I'm witnessing for you, that as you're forgiving, that some of those contracts are just lifting and flying away like feathers. And as they fly further and further away, they just dissolve into nothingness. They're just being banished. Just keep letting that all just clear and cleanse. So the more you forgive yourself, the more you're letting this go. It's you're holding on to all of this out of the sake of punishment. So can we just release that? Let's just release all those karmic contracts that you're still upholding under punishment and change it to the law of grace, mercy, and compassion. Okay, you're just going to sense, I can witness now all these contracts are just moving into like beautiful emojis of love hearts and smiling faces. Just setting everyone free. Just keep cutting cords, cutting all those cords. Keep bringing in forgiveness to self. You know, we're going to work on some ancestral stuff. So you might sense some of your ancestors around you. Okay, so obligations to ancestors. So the first big one that's coming up is that you must not outshine your elders. So can we release that, this contract? There we go. So just imagine that those unshed tears are rolling now, just flowing. And can we just release you from honoring in a negative way your ancestors, that you must be subservient to your ancestors, that you must be respectful. Let's just clear that. They're just negative ones. All negative. And then there's some way you shouldn't outshine your siblings. Let's just clear that. That's quite a big one. Just keep releasing that through the low heart, high solar plexus, right in that middle there, just clearing that. Just breathe light into it. Okay, keep looking down that other end of that karmic table, down the other end. Okay, is it starting to shift? And then can we just clear you from the collective consciousness of negative oaths, vows, contracts, commitments, promises, and obligations? That's ready to release in the highest and best. Okay, there's some really old stuff, energy tied to your hips. Let's just release those. Let's unplug you. Unplug you and give it to the divine. Let's just unplug you from the negative oaths, vows, contracts, commitments, promises, and obligations around the government. Okay, that's linked to ancestral as well and soul. And that abundance, that money flow is from Creator, from God, from the universe. And just allow it to flow. I want you to imagine that all this all this money, all this abundance, all this wealth is just spinning around you. It's just there in your energy field. It gets to be easy to create. Okay, and your sacral can connect to all of this energy flow. And you're really connecting into that entrepreneurial mindset now of creating wealth creation. So let's just turn that on for you, wealth creation, knowing how to create wealth in lots of different avenues, different ways. That's in the highest and best. Lots of inspiration. I can feel all those light bulbs going off. You're lighting up like light bulbs all over the city. There we go. Right, that's all nice and clean and cleared. Now you're going to work on the other end of the table, so your stuff. So take a seat at the top of the table and you're going to see, sense, feel, know, listen with your whole being. As any oaths. So just see any oaths sitting there. So just sense, is it an oath of poverty? Yes or no? Is it an oath of obedience? Might be more than one. Obedience, sacrifice, like a vow and an oath of honoring. I'm gonna say like the lead witch, but the person in charge that you're holding yourself back from because of this honoring that lead person. Okay, is that there? Cool. Okay, that feels like it really burns. Okay, there's quite a lot of anger tied to this. That's okay. I'm gonna clear it. Is it a vow of chastity? Is it a vow of silence? There's like a vow of being forgetful, like forgetful, overwhelmed, that type of thing. That's sitting there. Okay, so what are there that's blocking you at this moment in time that's not serving you? Okay, that's there. Right, let's bring up contracts. So any outdated contracts that are ready to be renegotiated. So if there's anything that we need to let people go, people, places, situations, etc., programs that need to be renegotiated, we're going to ask for Creator to release you from any outdated contracts. And then just to bring in, if it's towards other people, to bring in the highest and best to replace you. That energy's really shifting. Oof, there's some really old stuff there. Just getting that all that energy release. Well done. Okay, any promises? that need to be completed and released. Because you've served your time. Okay, that's just all releasing now. Wow. Ooh, let that go. Okay, any commitments? Outdated commitments. And can you release yourself from commitments? You keep placing commitments on yourself. And you're not, some of them you're not completing, and you're using it as a form of punishment. So can we release that from you now? There we go. That has a lot to do with a lot of you with your health and your well-being. So it's clearing stuff through there. Okay, any oaths? Let's just do a nice big cleanse and clear of any outdated oaths on all the levels, all aspects, all timelines and dimensions, and in between dimensions. So anything that's ready to clear, let's clear them now in all directions of time under the law of grace, mercy and compassion. Okay, some of that is coming through from the ancestral, so just clear that. So some of that is really working a lot on your ovaries, ladies. And I can feel some of your ovaries starting to fire up and have some energy through them. And it's actually activating your pineal and pituitary gland as well. So it's just having a nice cleanse. Okay, and let's just clear obligations. So any obligations that are still outstanding, and anywhere where you're obligating other people at this present moment in time. Let's just clear that, because that's having a bit of a karmic kickback. So just releasing now all promises, vows, agreements, declarations that are holding you back from your soul's authentic truth, power and light. And for the highest good of all, we're going to send love and healing and forgiveness to anything or anyone involved in these blocks. Please ensure all knowledge, information and wisdom is updated and kept intact within your records. And just allowing this beautiful harmonious release of all these old contracts, oaths, vows, promises, agreements, obligations. And anything that is holding on to any pain or wounding, negative programs, beliefs, agreements, any trauma, please clear it now in all directions of time. And just retrieve, heal, purify and repair any aspects of your fragmented soul in regards to these contracts, these vows, these declarations. And let's just replace all voids of the negative energy with Creator's unconditional love and light. And we request that all the healing, the contract, the vows, promises, obligations, etc., they're updated and put back into divine right order. And they're done with optimal ease and grace. And you're fully supported to step into your power and create positive change within your life. Please complete this beautiful upgrade, alignment, and healing through all vows and contracts. And place a beautiful shield of protection and an ultraviolet flame and light around you, your whole multidimensional being. Let's continue to cleanse and clear and purify anything that's non-beneficial. Okay, and I just want you to sit there and pause for a moment and see, what was it? Was there one thing, a couple of things? Let's just bring in awareness of what was blocking you, that main point. So some of you, it was about trust. Trusting that you can go to that next level, trusting that you can manage more. What was it? What was there? And then while we're in this energy, I want you to ask for divine guidance, inspiration, be illuminated in what you need to do and what is going to be the main thing to focus on to get your result now. So we've cleared the energetics. Now we want divine information and inspiration on a couple of needle movers. The needle movers. So what do you need to do now in order to get your result? Okay. Okay, I want you to thank your Akashic guides. Stand up from the table, and as you look back at the table, all those contracts have dissolved, gone. I want you to imagine that you're shaking your body off now. Give yourself a good shake. Okay, and then you're going to come out of that record room. Make sure you close the door and you say, I now close my records. Going to step back onto that silver plate, that tray. Come back through the doors. The golden ray of light. Back through the universe, the multiverse. Down, down, down. All the way down. Okay, you're going to feel like you're arriving and you're stepping back into your body. I want you to imagine, or literally do it, rub your feet on the earth, on the ground. So you're connecting in with the ground. You can start to feel that through your body. And you can feel the friction coming up through your legs, connecting into your body, all your cells, all your atoms, all your molecules, your DNA, breathing in, breathing out, disconnecting. Okay, cutting cords to anyone in the room, to us. Okay, plugging yourself in to create a divine light. Okay, shutting everything down. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Okay. How was that?
It was good. I went off somewhere else. I have no idea where I was. I had to keep bringing myself back. And I was like, what am I doing here again? Like, I just kept zoning. I don't know where I went. I have no idea.
Okay.
But I
I've
mean,
never been on a silver tray before.
I know. Do you know what I was thinking of? Do you remember the Jetsons? Here's George Jetson, and I was like, I felt like I was
It
a
was like one of
Jetson.
those things, you know, when you could step on those plates on water and it was like that. And I thought, if I say it's like some bloody silver spaceship flying out, you're gonna laugh at me, but that's what it was. I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. Off we go. Flying through the universe. Star Trekkers across the universe. Oh, so how did you all feel? Because I had a lot of crap at the other end of the table. I was like, oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
did
felt
too.
that I was holding a lot of people over my lifetimes accountable of stuff. Did you have that, Shani? You're like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, first of all, it was just flying up, but in the end, it was big, heavy stuff. It had to sort of go down a bit of a tunnel and get diffused or whatever it was. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
I felt that I'd had years and lifetimes of holding on to this stuff, that I was holding people accountable for those contracts still. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. Yeah, because I can be a bit what's right and what's wrong. I can be a bit like that, but I had a lot of that stuff there. And actually, when I saw the justice scales and then we had to bring in forgiveness, I was like, oh my God, yeah, that felt quite that was all a lot on my emotional body as well. Yeah. Anybody else want to share?
I had a lot of very powerful female figures from my corporate career
Oh,
um, blocking me.
yeah,
So when I tuned into why, it was like, are they jealous of me? And it wasn't jealousy, it was they were envious of the fact that I've always been sitting in my own self-worth and authenticity. And so
right.
they weren't jealous of that. It was an envy. It was really interesting. And that they didn't like that. That's how I've always just sat in that. And so then there was this real block of
Because they're
money,
not,
death.
yeah.
Yeah. And it was
That's
people that I didn't expect it to be. Like there was a few in my career that I was like, oh, it's surely this, because I was using my pendulum. It was like, no, no, no. And then these other women from one was like 25 years ago. And I was like, wow. And then there was a couple of others. So
did
yeah,
you have did you have contracts with them then?
yeah,
Okay. So
yeah,
you had what contracts to teach them to sit into their own authenticity, but they just didn't do it. But you were still contracted to them to do it.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Mm.
Mm. What was your divine inspiration to get on with? What do you need to be doing?
So for me, it's about boosting a post on Facebook and Instagram at the moment about my course.
Right.
So yeah, yeah,
So it's making you take that leap of faith to advertise.
yeah, like yeah, from a timing point of view, for me, I knew I was going to advertise, but it's when am I going to advertise it?
Yeah.
because it's school holidays at the moment. So I don't know whether a lot of people are looking at stuff on Facebook or not.
I think probably people are looking at it more.
And that's what I got.
Yeah, because they're
Yeah.
like, they got the kids,
Because
they
they've
want to
got
hang
time.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah. Anyone else?
Yeah, with me, my table was full of manila folders.
Manila.
Probably work-wise, career-wise. But they were when you first were bringing us into that, they were just, like, can't explain it, like stacking on top of each other, and it just kept going. And I was like, oh my God, I'm tied up to so much shit. There was so much. And then similar to you, Megan, I kept going back to some of my other corporate stuff that I've been involved in over the last few years. All these places that I worked at kept popping up as well. So not sure what that was all about, but yeah, it was kind of flying all at me. So very interesting. That was, but the manila folders were hilarious. I was just like, oh my God. Okay, maybe that's just my sort of corporate brain, how it still works. So I'm still very much a folder person. Everything's sort of, put away in. Like you said, you've got a filing cabinet in the garage, so do I. I've got one in the garage, one in the study. And so I'm maybe that's why it was showing me that way, because that's how I can understand it.
And that it felt that it was still related to old work days and old colleagues and
colleagues, works, other bits and pieces. And then Kylie, the partnership came up, so there was a contract still tied to that as well. Probably because I'm in the middle of doing my taxes too, and until that's finished, then that'll be cut as well. But yeah, still kind of hanging around for a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, great. Nicole?
I had a really interesting experience because it was like just one contract, but it was sort of like I was either obligated or contracted to just work for one person as a healer, and I wasn't able to like it was a really funny thing because it was sort of, I can't work out like the word overlord or but it was felt like this incredibly powerful figure was, you work for me and you don't work for anyone else. You only work for who I tell you to. So it was really like, that was basically all I did, apart from the piece where you talked about the collective and then the hip, like there was connections into that. But yeah, just this one person. But it was sort of, there was prestige being attached to it. So it was
was that from this lifetime or was that a past life?
No, past. Like very, like it felt old. I couldn't actually, like it was dark. And it felt like like I was in a tower or a castle or something. Like it was very old, very, very old. And like it just, like now I can still feel like it was sort of, I feel this weight on my shoulders. Like, so, like those big yoke things, like I have this feeling of this like heaviness on my shoulders.
Right. Yeah. That'll be like a witch wound type thing. I must honor the lead, the head. A lot of us took oaths and vows to be able to have people open up our psychic abilities, to teach us, etc., was that we had to honor them. We couldn't rise above them. We couldn't get any better than them. We had to stay stuck.
Well, that's interestingly that other piece about being not being better than your ancestors, definitely that stuck. That was in there as well. So but it was interesting because I've just read the Celestine prophecy again, and it talks about understanding your parents' purpose and then building on it from your purpose. So that feels like something that I have to do at the moment, is get a clearer understanding of my ancestral purposes, so that I know where to go. Like, I mean, I definitely know that I'm on the right track, but it feels like there's sort of identifying even my own purpose more, the piece that I'm working on at the moment. So
yeah.
and it was interesting because the action stuff for me was just like, because it's like it feels like now that thing has lifted, it's just the word of mouth thing will work. Like, I don't have to do anything more. Like, it will just, because I'm not, like, I'm free to work with other people, like free to do my thing.
Yeah. Go your own way.
Mm.
Yeah. Interesting. Great.
Yeah, that was really heavy.
Good. I hope to please. I hope to please.
I know.
Yeah, I like a juicy one. Are you all right, Karen?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Not asleep yet.
That was good. It was nice to get back.
Yeah. Nice to have you back.
Yeah. All my books were rather dusty and dirty. It's like, oof, we've been in here.
You remembered how to log in.
Yeah. But no, that was good. I wanted future security.
Yeah.
And belief in self. So the belief in self it's a bit hard at the moment because I found myself in a new position again. And it's the position I ran from with 100 miles an hour.
Right.
So,
so it's brought you back.
It's brought me back.
You've still got still got blessings to learn.
Yeah.
Right.
And day one of my my promotion, I went home and go, nah, I'm not going to do that one. But I have to. I have to do
you've got something there. You need to. There's a blessing. Let's call it a blessing.
It is a blessing because it's teaching me what I need to know for my business.
Yeah.
So and that's where my future security is. So I'll find my land, and I think I have found my mentor.
Oh, great!
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Yep. So yes. It's exciting times. I'm going to tackle this leadership role head on. Yeah.
Good.
So
step up. Step up. Excellent. You're all right, Shani? Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. One more call. I'm going to be honest, I am putting something special together that's because I think Melissa's like, I don't want it to end. So I'll share with you, it's still literally dropping in. It's still very early days. I'm thinking of running like a membership mastermind using the Akashics, but doing it with money, abundance, business. So bringing more the business side of things into it. It definitely will be one live call a month. But there's going to be other goodies around with it as well. It's going to be like a nice, easy membership. It's not going to be expensive. It's going to be really affordable, but it's going to be like coming together and, just keeping that momentum going. I mean, you've still got this program, you've still got access to it. So you've got the healings and the clearings in it, but I want to bring more of like a business focus to it. But working with your business guides, working with the soul of your business. So stuff that I do a lot around with my private clients, but then just bringing it slightly into more of a group and more of a fun and connection, collaboration and that type of thing. So it's still early days, but yeah, I want to move on to, because I knew that Unleashing Prosperity would be finished after this, but I knew that there was going to be something else coming. So it's still early days. So if you want to be in the membership, in the void, in the vortex, not the void, in the vortex, then just send me a DM and then I can start looking at putting that together. So yes, but it's all going to be focused around using Akashic stuff, but working with the soul of your business, your business, business guides, your records and stuff like that. So it is going to be around like empowerment, mindset, energetics, clearings, and creating momentum within your business around that. So yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. But I haven't told anyone. You're the first ones.
And Claire, for our next call, because some of us will be in daylight savings and Brisbane, Queensland doesn't have it. So is it going to be
7 for me? So it will be what,
Okay.
8 for you? Is
8
that
for
all
us.
right for
Okay,
everybody?
cool.
Is that okay for everybody?
Yeah.
Or do you want me to get up at 6?
No, don't do that.
So yeah, it will change. For me, I never change, so I still stick to that. In my mind, I'm still 7 o'clock, so it'll be 8 o'clock for you. So yeah, you just need to pencil in a bit later. All right, love and blessings. I'll be back in the group for an energy healing if you want another one. Nice to see you, Karen. Thank you for everyone for turning up. All right, love and blessings. See you later.
Bye.
Ciao for now. Bye.